good time of day. I wanted to start this session with a quick message. This message is being recorded 6.5 months after the session you're about to watch. That's kind of the main point, is I got very distracted designing and planning and realizing the potential of this show. I want this to be a thing. And it's a thing in my mind. I haven't released any content. And this stuff, it's ready to go. I want you to see it. I want to see it out. I want to hear your feedback on what could make it better. Without further ado, Seco Sessions 4 with Desert Prose. Enjoy. Do you need water or anything? Are you okay?
I'm okay. I got a little beer left. Let me take a swig before the interview. I don't want to be like chugging beer during the interview.
I'll do the same.
All of this time I've been alive. I've been playing this game with you that I can't lose. Eternal child, living inside, wondering where all this goes. Nobody knows. Your questions here dissolve your fear of the unknown. Like a mother with a child, our discoveries of the wild. She would play with me every day, always inventing a new game. Oh, moon in the sky, I wanna try to understand time, to wax and wane and don't explain. Well, I've lived so I can win by playing with you. Like a mother with a child, my discoveries of the wild, I could play with you every day, 'cause there's always a new game. And all along it was, and all along it was, and all along it was an act of love. And all along it was, and all along it was, and all along it was an act of love.
Well, thank you so much, Marisa, for such an incredible performance, and the others as well, Tom Pryor and Allan Cleave. Tom is on the lap steel and Allan is on the fiddle, as always. Before I ask you about the song itself, I'd love to know a little bit of, I don't know, I guess a bit of backstory on you and music and your journey in music. Where did the wave, for music begin for you?
Probably the womb, I would think. I mean, music has always been present in my life. My mom was, a singer-songwriter, and my dad was an audio engineer, and they, met through music, and it's always been in my life. My mom was also a vocal teacher, so I was singing, from the time I could talk. But I think, as far as a creator and a songwriter, I was a little bit of a late bloomer, and it kind of happened, in my early 20s. I think I was a little intimidated and scared to confront that vulnerable side of me, but once I did, it's like a bodily function, and it's something that has just, consistently happened for me as far as songwriting and singing goes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a few musicians that I've talked to where, actually Robert,
Yeah.
I was talking to him and he was saying, a similar thing where he had been playing music for a while, but it kind of took a bit for him to fall into that, I don't know, that comfort zone.
Right.
Like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
it
it's
was
interesting because that comfort zone is always changing. And like once you
Sure.
think that you're like, oh, I've got this, then something else comes for you to, you know, perfect and attempt at least.
And not to stray too far, but you said your dad's an audio engineer, and that interests me. Was he like a recording engineer on that
He
side of
was.
things?
He mostly did like voiceover work.
Oh, cool.
We lived in LA when I was growing up, and he had a job doing mostly like
Very cool.
voiceover work and stuff. But
Any notable projects that?
I
people
don't
would
know. It was
about?
mostly just like commercials for movies and
Sure.
stuff. He would always have like celebrities come in, and
That's
then
so
he
cool.
would like make them call me. And I remember like answering the phone one day and just being like, "Oh, hey, this is Screech from Saved by the Bell. Your dad told me to call you, you know," and like stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then I'd love to hear, a bit about the song.
Yeah.
The Game is the song that you just played.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah. I feel like a vessel in so many ways as a songwriter, and I kind of just sit down and my antennae go up and I just receive information typically. For this, I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, and she was interviewing this Jesuit priest / astronomer. And he was talking about when he was a kid, how his mother would play these games with him. And she said, "I love you." And it was easy for her to say, "I love you." But for her to actually like make the effort and spend the time to do things with him and play these games with him was really like this act of love. And this priest sort of equated our relationship with the universe to that. And how whenever we are discovering and creating and wondering, that is the universe or God showing us an act of love and actively participating with us. And that really gripped me and inspired me. And so this song just came right out after I heard that. I'd never heard anything like that. And I have such a close relationship with my mother, so it really affected me.
Sure.
Yeah. The universe can be so playful. And I feel like it's playing with me like a mother with a child when I'm writing and creating.
Interesting. That's so cool. It's one of those kinds of things where you heard, the inspirational, content, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And did it all kind of just like fall out in one session of writing?
Yeah, it totally clicked, and some of my favorite songs that I've written do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. You can hear it when you guys just performed it just now. You can hear it how it's just so, I don't know, it feels so dialed in.
Thank you.
The next question I have for you is about you and Tom. How long have you guys been playing together?
So probably about 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
He was touring with a band a lot when we met. And so he was on the road probably 10 months out of the year. For the first couple of years, we started dating, and he decided to, step away from that, and we moved out here. And that's kind of really when we started seriously playing and collaborating. So
cool.
Yeah, we've always kind of loved the same music and really vibed in that way. So
sure. Yeah,
it was...
y'all's playing styles click together so well.
Thanks.
And, Fiddle.
Oh my God.
Fiddle, Allan.
That was insane.
Allan fit in just perfect too. He's
it
fantastic.
felt so good with just the three of us. Like we had been playing for quite a while, and it was just so
Seemed
cool to
that
come
way.
in here and like
Right.
have that feeling.
Yeah, that natural
Yeah.
chemistry.
Yeah, and you can tell Tom and Allan are both just players, and they can sort of reflect who they're playing with, so that's quite a gift.
Definitely. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier while you were playing, but it's so nice to have, you can never have too many sliding,
I
instruments
know.
with the fiddle
Yes.
and the lap steel.
Yeah,
It
I've
sounds
always
great.
been, music with music from the 70s and late 60s, and that pedal steel sound has always been one of my favorites. So,
For sure.
to meet and fall in love with a person that can just effortlessly play that instrument was really cool. I scored.
Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic. Since how long have you been in Taos?
A little over 5 years.
Over 5 years?
Yeah.
I've been here for, June will make it the third year for me. And since I've moved here, I've seen you in a few bands. They're usually your bands, different iterations of your bands. But I do sound around town as well, and I see Tom, and I can't even count how many
Oh
bands
my gosh,
he's in.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
like my friend will say, "Oh yeah, I'm starting up a new project. Yeah, we got Tom on the
Yeah.
steel or something like that." Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he's a busy man about town.
Right. But tell me about this project, the most current one.
Yeah.
And I think I could say my favorite one so far. Tell me about
Thanks.
Desert Prose.
Well, the last few bands I've played in have not necessarily been my music. I've incorporated, songs here and there. But this has been really my project with, all the songs being original. And I really just felt like it was long overdue, and it was time I got in this kind of groove with songwriting where I was just creating so much that I was happy with. And I really wanted to hear a rhythm section and the full deal, bring it to life.
For sure.
And hearing that inspires me so much more to, create different types of, music and, expand on what I'm doing.
Right.
So.
Have you heard this song, "The Game," with a full band yet?
Oh yeah, we're working on it.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're recording an album.
Yeah, we are, slowly but surely.
Any,
Yeah.
I guess it's hard to pinpoint a time, but any
Yeah.
sort of time.
I mean, I would love for it to happen this summer. We were sort of on a roll there, and then everything happened with the virus, and
Right.
that's put a little bit of a pause on things. But I mean, and Tom and I are working full time, but this is definitely a big priority for us this summer. So
Well, looking forward to hearing it.
thanks.
Well, these days, I think it's somewhere over several lifetimes it would take to listen to every song that's been made up to now.
Yeah.
There's so much music, especially in recent decades with digital
Right.
music, and I'm over here recording over an hour of content on a single laptop rather than hours and yards and yards and yards of magnetic tape. But sorry, went off.
I was just like, whoa, yeah, no, you're right. And that's only the music that's been recorded.
Yeah.
So it's like, whoa.
Right. But
yeah.
it would take several lifetimes to hear all the music. But with all of the music that's out there right now, is there anything that stands out or anything that's in particular that you're listening to a lot these days?
For sure. Yeah. There's a band called Mapache that I have been just totally obsessed with. They have they just released their second album.
Oh, cool.
I think they're a fairly newer band from LA, and they have a very kind of 60s, 70s vibe, and they're kind of stripped down. It's acoustic guitars and some hand drums, but really beautiful harmonies. And it's one of those things where one of their songs came up on Spotify, and I was like, wow, I love this song. And typically when that happens, I go to the album, and most of the album is there's a couple songs. But with these guys, every single song on both of their albums has really just, touched me and inspired me. And it's kind of a very easygoing kind of Southern California 70s feel, which I'm a sucker for.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah. And something that I've been listening to a lot lately is it's not her debut album. I think it's her second album, but it's a musician. She goes by Vivi Lightbody, and she's a musician out of Chicago. Yeah, but she just came out with an album, at the height of COVID in the United States, and it's called "Make a Shrine or Burn It."
Oh, neat.
And it's so fantastic. It's such a good album.
Awesome.
I'll link that in the bottom, and you should go check it out.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
a really intriguing title.
Yeah. when the title's like that, it's got to have something to it.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Before I go ahead and ask you the last question, Marisa, why don't we go ahead and give you 30 seconds to, just plug whatever, talk about,
Sure.
What have you been up to during COVID? Have you had kind of the, the relaxing time off and stuff that everyone else has been getting to, or?
No, I haven't, but I've been lucky enough to work,
Sure.
And I love what I do, and in the spare time, I'm trying to just get better at my craft. We're having weekly rehearsals and focusing on our last thing was 3-part harmonies, because I'm a big fan of like those sort of Beach Boys-y kind of 60s 70s harmonies. I don't know how many times I'll say how much of a fan I am of 60s and 70s
As many
music.
times as you need to.
You get the point.
Last question. Of all the things, of all the mediums and all of the different waves that are out there, all of the ways to create and to be and to exist, why do you think it is that you feel called to create through the medium of sound?
I can't help it, I think, is the main thing. Beyond that, why I don't think I can help it, I do think that it's in my DNA. I think it's some ancestral stuff. It's something that's always come naturally to me, and really one of the only things I feel like I'm okay at, like pretty good at maybe, and something that I can like actively enjoy being challenged by. My favorite thing to do is write music, and I don't know why that is. That's something to explore and meditate on, and would probably be a cool song. But I mentioned before that there is this openness within me that I feel like is receiving something from somewhere else when I write, and finding the balance between putting my own individuality into that and also being a channel is a really fun challenge, and sort of an echo and a symbol of being part of a whole, and being united with the universe and beyond. And so it's something I can't really explain, and I think when I write, I'm trying to figure that out and explain it, and it's kind of like the journey is the destination sort of thing.
Sure. I guess, it's hard to put the words to it, trying
I'm
to
always
find it.
trying.
Yeah, but I guess that's what the songs are, I guess, in a
Yeah.
way. The songs are the explanation.
Yeah, it's me trying to figure out what the hell am I in this. Yeah. So.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
It's always so fascinating for me, and I'm sure for everyone else, to listen to the answer to that question, because it's definitely one of those questions. Like,
it's a great one.
How do you answer it?
Yeah, and you approached it very eloquently. So
thanks. After my little tangent about the universe,
yeah, but
being
you
big
know
and
what?
small.
That's part of it. I mean, that's part of being creative, is going on tangents and then making them work. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, and
thank
to
you.
Tom in the other room, and to Allan for playing the fiddle. Always appreciate. And it was absolutely beautiful performance.
Thank you.
I'm sure everybody else really enjoyed it.
Well,
And,
thanks for giving us a great opportunity and a vessel and a way to share.
Absolutely. And I hope in the near future, when the album seems like it might be coming out soon, we can do it again.
Awesome. Me too. I would love that.
Good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Marisa.
Thanks,
For
Brett.
your time. And thank you, everybody else, for tuning in for another edition of Seco Sessions. And until next time, see ya. You see when that video stopped?
Oh
Ooh, 12 minutes in. Yikes. Bummer.